Hey, I'm Champaign native Emily Harrington. You're watching the podcast where townies and transplants share their tales of tears and triumphs, losses and wins, proving week after week that everyone has a story to tell. Welcome to HyperLocals. Welcome back to the next episode of the HyperLocals podcast. I have a returning guest and I have a new guest, and we know each other throughout life in various capacities over decades, really. So it's really interesting for me to sit down face to face with him and get his narrative to coincide with this fundraiser that we're trying to aware people about. Jay Ramshaw, hello.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, because you're not completely outspoken about your recovery. Is that accurate?
I was outspoken when I first got out of treatment. I did a large article in the News Gazette, and then since then, people that are aware of the fact I'm in recovery know that I'm an open book, but it's not something that I put on a billboard and publish and put myself on a pedestal or anything.
Okay. Well, I am anxiously awaiting hearing your story. I know that you are in recovery, have been recovered for a while, but I don't know the details. So all I know is stationed back in blah, blah, blah days and what that was like. So for you and me, for that matter. Thomas Holmes, hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Okay. 2 years ago, you came on the pod?
Yeah, I think 3.
Okay, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And you told me your story of growing up, recovery, and where you land today to help others. Mm-hmm. And you're back.
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to tell me your story again.
It was long.
But you can tell me what you do today to help others with Recovery Happens program.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jay, let's go to you. And let's kind of start at the beginning. So I'm Central 02, you're Centennial. Boo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're a year younger than me.
Yep.
Your sister a year older than me. Is that right?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. Tell me what you were like as a student.
Oh boy. Academically, looking back on it, I could have done more. I could have tried harder. I got the grades that I needed to get. Mm-hmm. I certainly did not go above and beyond in the classroom. I was gifted athletically, which gave me benefits that I was hoping and wishing would pay off, and they did. And they got me into the University of Illinois, because without athletics, that wasn't going to happen. So
Okay. You graduated 3.5 years. You decided to end Centennial semester early.
Correct. So back in 03, that was kind of a new trend that was starting, was high school players would graduate early. They would then attend the spring semester at their college. I think Maurice Claret did it, a couple other guys, and then myself. And in growing up in Champaign and living in Champaign, I kind of thought it'd be a no-brainer to go ahead and just graduate early, move on over into the dorms, start my college career. In hindsight, everything happens for a reason. Was it the best move for me? Probably not. I can remember thinking, like, in my alcoholic brain, that, all right, well, I get to the party a semester sooner.
Sure. Yeah. You can pre-game,
literally.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about getting on the football team. I mean, not only do you have to keep up academically, but you have to keep your nose clean, so to speak, and stay out of the fray. So how did you manage that?
Well, I didn't. There was times where, where part of going into college is just understanding the entire system and what you can do and what you can't do, and the responsibilities that are on you, and I think that's where some of the difficulty lied in me coming in at semester. I did not have the guys that I was recruited with there with me. I came in as a complete stranger, and really only knew some upperclassmen on the team that I had met years prior, and so those were the guys that I had gravitated towards, and they were the ones that have already, figured out the system on what classes you actually need to go to.
Sure.
All these different nuances that I didn't have a clue about, and they were on the tail end of their career, and so things that they could get away with and they could do, I couldn't. I mean, I was 18 years old. I graduated high school on a Friday and started college football on a Monday, and so, I got roped in with upperclassmen, and those were the guys that I felt most comfortable with because a lot of them could drink like I could stay up and party like I could, and if I were hanging out with other groups of guys, I certainly would have stuck out like a sore thumb, but I had kind of found my crowd.
Okay. Being a townie, does that change, do you think, your trajectory? Are we ahead of the game already? Because we're from campus, on campus, in the bars at 17, 18?
See, I never went to the bars in high school.
Oh, God.
No, I was blessed to get a fake ID handed to me when I was 14. So I didn't need to go to the bars. I could bring the bars to me.
Okay. So when do you remember starting to drink?
I can remember with unbelievable clarity the first. I could tell you whose house I was at. I could tell you where I was when I first felt a little bit of a buzz. I could tell you who I was drinking with, what I was drinking. It was the spring of my freshman year in high school.
Okay. 14, 15?
It was 15.
15, okay.
Yeah.
That first sip, that first drink, did that lead to getting drunk at that moment?
No, I was relatively. I mean, I was tipsy. I was drunk, but not falling down, stumbling. But I remember how good it felt.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So at that moment, something was ignited.
100%.
Wow. Okay.
I'm kind of getting chills just sitting here thinking.
Really?
Yeah, because that's when it was enjoyable.
Okay. Was it manageable? Enjoyable, yes. Manageable.
It was manageable for a couple years. Really, most of high school it was manageable.
Okay.
It did not, and I didn't get to the point where I was waking up, in college, having to have a drink. It was. I drank a lot in the span of a week. It might be, 4 or 5 nights. But when you have as much responsibility as being a college student athlete, so you have, weightlifting at 6 a.m. in the morning, you have, practice, study hall, dinner. You have all these different responsibilities that in any of those, if you miss or you're late or you don't perform, there's all sorts of eyes on you, and there's people watching you, and so I think that my issues became detected much sooner than what a normal college kid's habits would have been.
Did your parents, did they notice anything amiss?
I think it was hard, for my parents because, going through high school, on paper, I looked
great,
like a successful child. Granted, my grades could have been better, but he's excelling athletically. He's not getting kicked out of school. He's a respectful young man. But as time progressed, and I think, and they'll agree, certain instances, in high school when I was caught, when I had drank too much, and they noticed, they can kind of look back and be like, what were we thinking?
Yeah.
But at that point in time, they just thought it's just a 17-year-old kid being a 17-year-old kid.
Right.
He accidentally drank too much.
Sure. And that's norm for our groups, our kids our age.
It was back then.
Yeah. That's for sure. Okay, so during college, does it come to a head on the team where someone has to intervene?
So the first instance, there was a workout during the summer of '03 that I had missed, and we called them voluntary mandatory workouts because they were voluntary, but
You should have shown up, yeah.
you have to. And I had gone out the night before, and I had gotten way too drunk. I was too hungover and slept through the alarm, and that's and then you're just terrified to go and face the music, and typically our rule was, if you missed a workout, you had to go to the stadium. You had to get there before Coach Turner got there. You had to sit in this chair outside of his office, and then he would come out and speak to you whenever he felt that had time or was ready. So you might sit in that chair 6-7 hours.
Okay. So sweat and regret beyond comprehension.
So that was the first workout I missed during the summer, and then there was an incident that fall inside the bar, and I had gotten into a verbal altercation with a young lady, and I bit her on her clavicle, and there were undercover police in the bar that night, and I maintain this story today. It was at station, and I was facing the brick wall in the back, and somebody had come up and put my arm behind my back. Well, I thought it was like one of my buddies messing around with me, so I instantly turned around and swung, not knowing it was an undercover police officer. And so they roughed me up pretty good.
Okay.
Took me outside. I got a stack of tickets.
Shoot.
And I remember I took those tickets, I went back to the dorm room, and I put these tickets underneath the police scanner I had in our dorm room, because I naturally wanted to keep a police scanner in the dorm in case we knew that police were coming to the dorm. And I went to bed, and I woke up, and I was hoping it was a dream. And I woke up early. It was like 5:30, and I remember lifting up the police scanner, and there were the stack of pink tickets. And so then I take my walk of shame to the stadium and sit there and wait in the chair for hours. So that would have been a Saturday. So that was Sunday morning, and then at noon or 1 o'clock is when Coach Turner and I finally had a discussion about what happened the night before. But
okay, because you assume he knows.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, you better be the one to tell him.
Okay. Okay, and we will get back to this right after this break. Okay, and we are back, and we are in the chair outside of Coach Turner's office. You got a stack of pink slips from the night before that you woke up to. So tell me how that conversation goes. And what year are you in school?
I'm a freshman.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm a freshman. I don't remember the details of the conversation. I mean, essentially, the moral of the conversation is based on rumors and what he has heard, the missed workout during the summer, the incidents with the police. He asks, do I think I need to get help? And at this point, my big concern is making sure that I hang on to, my scholarship and my place on the football team. And so, obviously, yes, I need help. I mean, not really believe it, just trying to save my ass and make it look as though that I care and that all right, this could work out. Not really understanding, what saying yes to help means. Like you're really supposed to stop drinking, and kind of take it serious. And so that's when he got Al Martindale involved. Al was our head trainer. Al's an incredible guy, and Al had seen it all. And so they got me enrolled into an intensive outpatient at Carl's New Choice. And so that ran 4 or 5 nights a week. And so I would leave practice and I would go to an intensive outpatient, and that was, it might have been 8 weeks, 10 weeks.
That's what Andrew did.
Yeah.
My husband did that.
Yeah, so did that, and I remember, going through that whole thing, and then once we graduated, I had a bottle of booze in my car to celebrate the graduation. So,
Okay.
So I got out of that, and just kind of hoped that everybody would quit looking or
Yeah.
just quit paying attention.
At any time during the new choice lessons, classes, did you anything resonate?
Yeah. I mean, it all resonated. I think one interesting facet of my journey when I was 16, I knew that how I drank wasn't normal at that
Oh,
age.
you did?
To the point where I stopped at the pavilion and got an AA meeting list at 16.
Really?
Yeah.
On your own accord?
On my own accord. I knew that how I drank was not normal. And so, yeah, it resonated, but I'm 19 years old. I'm a college football player. I go to the University of Illinois. I love socializing. I love being out. And, what I do remember from those classes is that was all over. And so the thought of completely changing everything I knew socially during the freshman year of my freshman year of college, just it really didn't appeal to me. And so that's when you take it underground. So now I can't go out, but I can still drink. But now I got to drink in like my dorm room or somebody's house. So I'm not being social. I spend these upperclassmen that I was friends with. They had a house and they had a kegerator at the house, and so every night after practice and after treatment, go over there and you drink till 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you go back to the dorms and you have a lift at 6, and then class and
So it's almost a catalyst for poorer behavior because now you're having to in hiding.
Yeah, in hiding. I mean, the big thing is your chances of getting caught by the police were less because, again, I'm underage. So just being out at a bar and being caught with a drink, you run the risk of getting a ticket and then that getting back to the coaches, and then so you're doing it in apartments and houses now.
So during New Choice, you were drinking as norm.
Yeah.
Okay. 16, when you go into the pavilion, was there something that preceded that? That's a pretty brave, big thing for a 16-year-old.
I think it could have been the blackouts I was having. I recall I started having blackouts at an early age, and I drank. I drank to excess. I drank a lot. I drank to excess and had a very. It's careless. I mean, it's hard to say that when somebody is drinking that much, they're careful. But yeah, and so I did not have. It was go.
Yeah. Okay. We are in our freshman year on the team. Have you gotten penalized, or are you still maintaining your spot?
I'm still on the team. I redshirted my freshman year, but everything's harder. Life it's already hard, and then throw, drinking until wee hours of the morning. Everything is harder. So going to class is harder. Getting good grades is hard. Everything is more difficult, and it makes it's nowhere near as enjoyable as it should have been.
Okay.
Only because of self-sabotage, things that I was doing. Not because of the institution, the coaches, or my teammates. It's just strictly self-sabotage.
Did you maintain to your peers that you were sober on the team?
No.
Okay.
No.
To the coaches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
No, I would. The upperclassmen. I mean, I would drink with them. And at that point in time, there wasn't as much information out there about alcoholics and people in recovery, and so they didn't know anything about what recovery looked like or what it was. So I'm supposed to not drink as much.
Sure.
I remember passing my AA meeting list around the third floor of Hopkins Hall and having everybody sign it that I attended all these meetings.
Wow.
Because once I figured out that there's no way they could check this, pass this down the hallway. Like I attended 27 meetings this week.
So it was a joke, kind of a joke. You're just trying to get.
I didn't think it was, when I always, at 19, I just thought, well, certainly I'm going to be able to drink normally.
I'm gonna outgrow
Like
this.
I'm 19.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be okay. It's just right now I'm a little wild and I need to understand how to control myself, and that'll come in time.
Did you try to tamper it down? I'll only have this much tonight. I'll only drink this kind tonight.
Yeah, there was moments of that. There's sometimes I was successful, but not every time. Certainly not. I was yeah, no.
So, do we get back on the team come sophomore year?
Well, so let's go into, so that's 03. We go into the spring of 04. Still kind of, drinking alone, hiding away. And then unofficial St. Patrick's Day
Oh,
arises.
God, the best.
Oh, it was. And I remember I'm in my car. We're going to class. It was early. It was like a 9 o'clock class. We're driving to class, and I see all these people out on the porches having a great time, and they're being normal college students and
FOMO.
I just said, F this. I said, I'm gonna go out today, and so started drinking early, started drinking a lot. I remember running out of money at some point, and so ended up going to the Champagne Country Club for dinner.
By yourself?
No, I forget who was with me. I had a buddy with me, but I knew that I could get food and I could get booze, and I'd have to sign the bill and have my parents take care of it. So did that, and then let me think here. Then
And you drove there?
I don't remember. I'm sure I did.
Okay.
I mean, I certainly didn't take an Uber.
Okay.
And then went to Joe's after that, and knew the bartender there. So we were just drinking pitchers of Red Bull and vodka.
Ooh.
And then ended up back at a buddy's apartment, and it was late. It was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and to this day I don't know why. I threw a queen size bed over a balcony.
Oh my God.
And
Jay.
then it went over the balcony and then onto the neighbor's patio, and I shattered their sliding glass window. And then went down in that parking garage, and I threw cinder blocks through the car windows down there.
And we're going to take a little break and get to the car windows when we return. Okay. Hello, we're back. Okay, we are in the parking garage on the early morning hours the day after unofficial on campus.
Yes.
Okay, wreaking a little havoc.
Causing a lot of carnage.
Okay.
Yeah, so I shattered those windows. And I end up walking home from, it was 107 East Daniel, to home, go to sleep. And at some point that Saturday, my dad gets a call that there was a bunch of vandalisms at one of the properties that we manage on campus. And I'm a little hazy, and he does not typically get phone calls like this, and so I don't know. Somehow I ended up going over there with him, and driving up like to the scene of the crime. Like, oh boy, this was my doing.
Did you put that together?
Once we got there, and then because the police were there, my buddies were all out there, the ones that I threw the bed from their apartment over to the apartment next door, and I'm running around trying to control the narrative, keep my name out of it. I don't know if I was here or not. Just trying to lie my way out of being, because I know this isn't good. With my dad is probably on the first vandalism maintenance call I remember him going on before, and I know that he really hasn't been on one since. And so, I think while we're there, the police are questioning people, and they're starting to figure out, who did it. We go home. That's Saturday.
For the greater population
Yeah.
that may not know, your dad's and your association with real estate in our community.
Correct. So we have a property management business in town, and so we manage apartments on and off campus, and so
Those buildings you were in were part of your dad's?
the building I threw the bed through was a building that we managed for
Okay.
another owner. Yeah.
So that's the connection with the phone call.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And so, Saturday happens. Sunday, I'm downstairs in our basement where my bedroom was. And I remember my dad yelling down the stairs, "Jay, police are here for you." And so I go upstairs, and they brought 4 or 5 squad cars to our house.
To your family home.
Because of the incident they had with me in the fall of being very aggressive when they detained me for biting that poor girl on the clavicle. So they didn't know how I was going to react. So yeah, they showed up with a whole slew of folk to arrest me and take me into jail. And so they cuffed me in front of my little sister Meredith and put me in the squad car. And as we're driving to jail, we pull up to the corner of the Kirby and Prospect.
Okay.
And my 2 cousins pull up next to me. So I'm in the back of the cop car. I look to my right. It's my cousin Patrick and Andrew, and they're what the hell's going on? So they take me to the county jail and book me and fingerprints, the whole 9. And I'm in a holding cell with a bunch of other individuals. And
How'd your parents react?
well, they did not call me in jail. The only person that called me in jail was my lovely grandmother.
Oh, it's sweet.
And I'll never forget, she calls and says, "Jay, it's your grandmother. I want you to know that going to jail is just part of growing up." She's a saint.
Oh my gosh.
So when I got released, and I think so that was Sunday. I forget how long I was in there. I was not in there. It might have been a night or two. I was not in there very long. And
Did you make any phone calls?
no,
Okay.
I didn't know who I was going to call.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
The upperclassmen weren't going to come get you.
No.
Yeah.
No. I was toxic at that point. You can't be seen or hanging out with somebody that's got those kinds of issues on the team. You're guilty by association at that point. So I get released on my own recognizance because I did not have like a prior criminal record. I had a buddy. He came and picked me up. He took me home, and I'm trying to think. I remember dreading, my father getting home, and not from the standpoint of like, he's going to be mad, or it just knowing that I disappointed him.
Oh,
You know,
100%.
in causing criminal damage to property that we managed, just not living up to my side of the coin, and in being a responsible, 18-year-old, or no, 19-year-old at the time. So I remember being in the living room, and I can see out the front of our house his car pull up, and I go, "Ooh." And I don't know how he's going to react.
So they didn't bail you out.
No.
Your parents didn't come bail you out.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Huh.
No.
Good for them.
No, and that was intentional. In talking to them now, that was intentional, because they very well could have, but I needed to sit in the mess that I created. I needed to, like I tell them, you need to think about what you know. I was 19. I needed to sit in a holding cell. I needed to eat powdered eggs, and I needed to think about what I had done, in kind of the fork in the road, and where I was headed and what I wanted to do with myself. I can remember using a toilet paper roll as a pillow, and they got that drain in the middle of the floor, and those fruit flies are flying out of it. And that's not how I was brought up. I'm fully aware that I've had a very, very blessed life, and that's not something that I was accustomed to or used to,
Or wanted.
Yeah. Quite frankly. And so, my dad, he comes in, and he just kind of asks, he goes, "Are we done?" And I said yes. Again, not really knowing what I said yes to, but I certainly wasn't going to look at him and say, "Nah, I think we'll do this again." And so that's when my parents really got involved in kind of understood that, okay, this isn't normal behavior. There's an issue going on here. And so I reluctantly signed the release for the Carl docs that I had dealt with previously, to actually speak with my guardians, because I love the HIPAA laws, that they could not divulge anything prior to. And so we all met, and everyone kind of came to the conclusion that it was time for me to go to Hazelden Betty Ford.
Okay. And we will hear about that when we return. Okay, we are back. Jay, we are at a big time. This is the pressure point, the pivot point of your life. You are going to reluctantly say yes and okay to going to treatment.
Yeah, I mean, reluctantly from the standpoint, I didn't know what I was getting into. I mean, I guess I should also put in there that after this incident on campus, the student affairs office gets involved, and I essentially get kicked out of the university. If I don't go and seek treatment and get help. And so, the decision was made between myself, my parents, and then the doctors at Carl that I needed a higher level of treatment. And so I went to Hazelden Betty Ford. There was about a month time frame from the point where I had last drank to me going to rehab. And so I stayed at my parents' house, and then I was going to AA meetings at this time on my own, just trying to figure something out. And I remember one of the first meetings I went to after that, there was a gentleman that was getting his 30-day chip, and I was like, how in the hell did that dude get 30 days? It blew my mind. It blew my mind, and so I go to it's like April 1st. I know spring ball had just started, and I was in the car on my way to Center City, Minnesota, and open up the newspaper, and in big, bold headlines is, Ramshaw's future unclear.
Oh, no.
So there's
Add insult to injury.
there was that, and it was good for me.
Sure.
I needed to get knocked down some pegs. You grow up in Champaign. You come from a really good family in Champaign, a well-known family. Our name is on a lot of buildings in town, and you can become a little cocky and just think that you're different than people.
Sure.
And life has a way of showing you that you're not. And it was good for me to see that and to feel that and really to go into treatment with that on my mind. And so we arrive at Hazelden. It is absolutely picturesque and gorgeous. And
Who took you? Your mom and dad?
yeah, they drove me up there.
Okay.
And,
Are you kicked off the team? Or you just, it's unclear?
It's unclear because I am currently not. What am I? I might be suspended from the university. My status at the university was unclear at that point. I knew that once I got out of treatment, that I was going to have a meeting with. I still remember his name, Dick Justice.
Okay. How can you forget a name like that?
Yeah, Justice. And so I go to Hazelden, and the place it has a certain aura about it, and just kind of completely reshaped my thinking, my thought process, and my ideals about sobriety. I remember one of the might have been the first or second night that I was there in detox, and everybody kind of has to go through detox, medical detox, just so they make sure that you're healthy, so you can go down to your unit. And
Did you feel effects of not drinking?
towards the end, a little bit.
Okay.
But I had been sober a month
Okay.
when I went up to Hazelden. But prior to that, I mean, I wasn't like sweating and having seizures, but I certainly had minor withdrawals there towards the end.
Okay.
And there was an individual, older guy, and he asked, he goes, well, how many times have you been in trial? I said, well, this is really my first inpatient. He looked at me and goes, oh, you'll be back. And I can remember thinking to myself, I go, I'm not coming back. This is it. My life is not headed where I'd hoped it to be, where I thought it would be, and I really jumped in. There was a really good group of guys that I was in treatment with, some of whom I still talk to this day. I was up in Minnesota for the Big Ten tournament last year and got together with a couple of them, and I hadn't seen him in, I don't know, 10, 15 years, but it's a weird bond that you build when everybody's kind of at your lowest and you're in treatment together, and so
The great equalizer is kind of what you said. I mean,
it really because alcoholism and drug, it doesn't care who you are.
Sure.
It doesn't care how much money you have. Doesn't care where you come from. Everybody is the same. And one of my roommates was he helped invent like the thermal imaging radar systems that are on our fighter jets today.
crazy.
There was there's a bank president. It just all walks of life there, and that's what I enjoyed the most was just talking. The stories that these guys have are incredible, and the lessons learned, and so I spent 28 days there, and got out, and typically they recommend going to a halfway house and doing that whole thing, and that was kind of a recommendation that most people had a real issue with, and I came to terms before they gave your recommendation there towards the end that if they say I need 6 months and a halfway, I will go and do it. I will go and do it. I'm okay with that, and they did not recommend that. I was released kind of back to back to my parents' house, and I had an aftercare plan. I had intensive outpatient meetings that I was supposed to attend to. I was supposed to attend these AA meetings, and then I had to come back and meet with U of I and see if they were going to allow me back in school, and if I was allowed back in school, then I would be allowed back on the team. But you certainly can't play for the team if you're not in school. And
Sure.
So went and met with them, and they were satisfied with what I had done, and met with Coach Turner and
Humbling. This is humbling.
oh, it's humbling, but it's still, I'm still a kid at this point too. So it's hard. In thinking back, it's just sometimes it's hard for me to kind of go back there and see. To see what it's like. I remember being on, kind of the whole pink cloud thing when you get out of treatment and life is great, but I was coming back to college and college football, and then there was apprehension on how my teammates would accept me. Was I going to be
A pariah.
that or the guy that when he went to treatment last time? Well, he wasn't serious about it. He still drank. Is he serious, this time? And so, they tell us to change our playmates and playpens, and so for the first year out of treatment, I did not step foot in a bar. I tried my hardest to stay away from anybody that was kind of drinking, just to keep myself safe. I went to a ton of AA meetings, had a sponsor, and about a year into it, I was getting an itch. I was not to drink, but to be social.
Okay.
And to be out and to talking to people and going out to the bars and just hanging out with people. And I remember, at this point, my teammates knew that it was for real, and I was very open, with everybody that I don't drink, and it is what it is, and so I decided, well, let's give this a whirl. Let's see how. Let me go out and see what this is like. And I went out and had a blast. And learned how to socialize without alcohol. And I've got a close buddy that lives here in town, Kevin Mitchell or Juice Mitchell, as a lot of people know him as. And every time the bartender would hand me a drink, he'd always take it first and take a sip of it to make sure there wasn't booze in there. And so, I had the support from my teammates, and kind of the beauty of it is then I became somebody that they could rely on to make sure that everybody was getting home safe. I was able to drive to the bars. I was able to get guys home safe, and so it's kind of my way to give back and help a little bit, and maybe keep a teammate out of trouble or keep somebody out of trouble because I wasn't out there drinking, and that helps tremendously, being 19, 20, and still being able to have quote unquote call it a normal college life, and to be social and be around people and meet. And so when I say that I had a blast, because I could go out 4 nights a week and not be hungover.
Sure. So you had the energy to keep going.
Yeah. Was that the right decision? No. In looking back on it, there's probably should have, applied myself a little bit more, scholastically. But, at the end of the day, I have so many friends that I am still very close to, that I met in college, and from all different, walks of life, from sororities to fraternities, because different nights of the week, different groups of people go out, and I was able to kind of go out and mix with all of them. And so that was the most fun to me, was just being able to just socialize and be responsible for me, and know that I wasn't going to make a horrendous mistake because I'd been drinking. So ended up graduating from Illinois, and which wasn't in hindsight, like I said, could have taken academics, more serious. But, one of my father's main messages is I don't care what you do, but you leave that place with a degree. It was not, there was no, you don't leave without a degree. So I had to finish in summer school. I had to take a little animal
Oh, you
science.
to scrape it by.
Yeah, I had to take a little animal science and a couple other classes, but just ended up graduating and kind of starting my adult journey, or what I thought was an adult journey, because when you're 20, 22, 23, 24, you think you're an adult, but you're really not. And trying to understand the world post college and what that looks like with sobriety and in dating and what how I want to shape my world going forward. So.
Okay, and we will finish up with Jay and talk to Thomas after this break. And we are back to wrap up on this wonderful story of Jay. And I asked you right before we got back on, were you ever self-conscious at that peak age of 19, party age, to say, hey, no, don't drink?
Yeah, no, and I told you, part of doing the News Gazette article when I got out of treatment, it was kind of getting out in front of it and just kind of letting everybody know that, hey, I don't drink. And as time progressed, I found out girls in college loved guys that didn't drink.
So funny.
It was kind of like
it's attractive, in my opinion.
I found that out.
Yeah.
So, I use that to my advantage.
Yeah. Having self-control and discipline, it's an attractive trait. Okay. How long have you been sober and you had no relapses, which is amazing? Yeah. The guy was wrong at Hazleton.
He was. So I quit March 6th of 2004. So that's 21 years and some change. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I think the AA program is amazing and really gives a guideline for life. I still meet with my counselor from Hazleton every other Monday for an hour and a half.
Wow. And it's proof in the pudding that you're a success story. Okay, Thomas, how do you know Jay? What's the association here? And tell me about the fundraiser where Jay is the keynote speaker coming up.
Like Jay said, I met him at Rosecrans. Met him one time, came in when I was with Robin.
Okay.
I was eating and I met him then. So starting to know a little bit about it. I think I saw him come to the Monday night men's meeting a few times.
Sure.
When I was just starting down here. So, knew him then and go to Rosecrans when they had a breakfast in the morning. He hangs with another guy that's on the board with us.
He said that all boats rise together.
Yes.
And meaning this recovery, sea of recovery.
Yes.
You all help each other.
We all in it together. That's what it is. It's never leave a man behind.
Yeah.
Or someone behind. Just they reach their hand out. That's our opportunity to grab it and see can they help. Because my motto is, if the doors was open for me 11 years ago,
sure,
I wouldn't be here right now. So
right.
I was at Prairie Center before Rosecrans took over.
Once you personally experience the pain that you go through an addiction, you don't want anybody else to have to go through that more than they need to.
Yes.
Milestones and miracles.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So we're going to have some music, some food, and it's going to be some great testimonies from guys who graduated, where some of the guys are at now and where some of them are trying to go. And we got a lot of big ideas for recovery happens. We want to start a phase 2 for when guys get 1 year, maybe they go into a phase 2 where they stay 4 or 5 years and work on their credit and get them enough money saved and get an ultimate dream, because I know it can happen. Get them a house, get them a goal to go, because guess what? I got my house today, and I wouldn't have it if it was not for this program and the people that God put in my life. So
Can you describe Recovery Happens as a program?
So I kind of took Recovery Happens from when I was with See You at Home, because I actually did a recovery program myself. And I learned a lot of tools from that, and I used those same tools with Recovery Happens. And Recovery Happens is a program to help guys save money. They go to meetings, they get a sponsor, they go to work. We don't let them work all different kind of shifts, no overnights. We just got a few things we do to make sure that we keep structure in the program. Structure is good for everybody.
Okay.
And you guys get some houses too, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We got two houses. We got a house in Champaign and a house in Urbana. We help about 12 guys now.
Okay, at a time.
Yes, 6 and 6 in each house.
6 and 6. Is that a halfway house? Is that
Well, it's a recovery house.
recovery house?
Yes.
Okay, different. Okay. Tell me, how can people contact you, get tickets, donate?
So we do have a website, which should be popping up. It's Go Butter. And they can go on there and scan their tickets, or go on the website and get tickets. If not, contact me or anybody else, but that's how we're doing it. Off tickets, it's a Go Butter website.
It's givebutter.com
Yes,
/JSJBFI.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. Jay, thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you.
Because I'm taking this as a personal favor. I really am. And I owe your wife one. And thank you very much, recurring guest. I'll always have you on, okay?
That's good.
Whenever you have only the best things to promote. So thank you guys very much. Thank you, Jay and Thomas.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's HyperLocal show. If you like what you hear or you need anything from me, let me know at hyperlocalscu.com. Also, search and follow HyperLocalsCU on all social media. Like me, follow me. Bye!